Welcome to On the Couch, a regular catch-up where we discuss some of the issues facing media, marketing and advertising and hopefully provide some solutions. Today on the couch, I'm joined by Paul Fisher, who's the Managing Director of 30 Acres. Welcome to the couch, Paul.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here.
Well, I know you've just flown in from your offices on the North Coast.
Quite literally, yes.
Yeah. So thanks for joining us. Your interest and specialty is e-commerce, and it's a topic that lots of people talk about, but I'm just wondering if you could give us a definition, a working definition of e-commerce.
I think e-commerce is, broadly speaking, digital commerce that happens when someone purchases a commercial item using internet technology. So it's quite broad. I guess the interesting thing is that I think if we fast forward, say, 10 years, the E might actually disappear from e-commerce because much like digital marketing, which we now accept is just marketing, e-commerce will probably just become commerce or retailing as the two start to overlap and become normalised.
Well, it's fair to say that globally, and some markets have really picked up on e-commerce, like China, but the Australian retailers have been a bit slow to adopt. Why do you think that is?
It's interesting. I think there's a few different factors. Australia is a smaller market, so I think the big players that have really dominated the global landscape haven't been able to get the scale that perhaps you can get in, say, the US or even Europe. Also, I think historically, if you look at the US, retail industry had this kind of peculiar mechanism for buying via subscriptions and catalogs and things like that. So people were kind of used to overcoming distance with other ways of buying, which kind of set them up really for purchasing remotely, I guess. Australia, I also don't think has the infrastructure to sell or move packages around large scale or large distances and so on. I think that's been a bit of a handicap as well.
That's certainly improving, though. I mean,
it is improving. Yeah, I think we've still got a long way to go. I mean, if you look at the US, I read a piece of research that said that 25% of people in the US won't purchase if it's not same-day dispatch. So that kind of expectation in Australia, we know that it takes a lot longer to get something, except for maybe
3 to 5 days.
yeah. And if you're on the north coast of New South Wales, like I am, you can extend that a little bit further.
Yeah.
But there are companies doing a great job of that. I mean, I know that if I sort of my keyboard breaks, I need a new Apple keyboard. Suddenly it arrives the next day. So there are companies doing it and doing it well. So it is possible.
So when would the idea of embracing e-commerce be a good idea for either a business or a brand? What are the sort of circumstances?
Well, I think does the product lend itself to internet technology and convenience? There are certain products that are kind of made for the internet, and they're products, I guess, before we get to the physical products, the non-physical products, so software, services, and so on, where there's no physical product that has to be picked, packed, shipped, warehoused, etc. So you take out some of the costs immediately. So those products. Travel is a great one as well. We don't think of travel as an e-commerce product, but it is, and it works really, really well. Education is another great e-commerce product that can be bought online. And then I guess beyond that, it's really sort of looking at what can the technology facilitate to give someone a great experience. I mean, we used to sort of say that it wasn't possible to sell shoes, but now we're overcoming some of those challenges with, say, augmented reality. Is it possible to buy a couch? Yes, it is. You can actually look at a couch in your living room now. So some of the things that previously were not really possible with e-commerce or weren't necessarily a good fit, technology is starting to overcome those barriers and find ways to make it doable.
Yeah, but I'm just wondering from the marketing perspective, what's the benefit beyond just generating revenue, incremental revenue?
Well, I guess it's a marketer's dream, really, because you can control a lot of the consumer experience. You can test till the cows come home. I mean, you can really test quite rapid sort of iterations of new methods, new marketing techniques, new conversion optimization techniques, and so on. You know, you have a lot of data at your fingertips to really sort of get a holistic view of customers. And the other thing is, I guess you can put some of the special touches on the marketing experience from first impression through to delivery of a product and repeat purchase because of all the, the additional data points you have at your disposal. So I think for businesses, especially with the technology, to start crunching data and test new, new avenues, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it really is an end-to-end environment that marketers can learn a lot, but they can also test and learn in that.
Absolutely, especially if you're looking at testing a new product or a new service. You can perhaps buy some media, test whether there's a product market fit quite quickly without necessarily having to produce a lot of that product or have an extensive marketing campaign. So it's a great way of putting a toe in the water and finding out whether you do have that right kind of product market fit.
Now, there's probably marketers sitting here that have thought about or had conversations around e-commerce.
Mm-hmm.
Before they rush out and buy one of these technology platforms or the plug-and-play e-commerce component to go to their marketing platform, what would you recommend they do as a first step?
I guess the first thing is really thinking about, what am I trying to sell and why? Is it a product looking for a market, or is there a market looking for your product? So there's a big difference between the two. So the great thing is, as I said before, you can test those two things quite quickly. So for example, you could have a piece of content on a blog that you can make shoppable, and you could test it quite quickly, say with a social media campaign or a Google AdWords campaign. And you can do that for as little as, say, $9 a month with, an entry-level buy button through someone like Shopify, for example. So you can actually test whether your product is actually going to resonate with customers without really sort of having to get a second mortgage. Yeah,
great advice. Thanks for joining us on the couch, Paul.
My pleasure, it's been great. Thank you.
And thank you for joining us on the couch. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay tuned for more On the Couch coming very soon.